All right, let's just put it out there. Artificial intelligence? It's literally everywhere in our high schools right now, and it is moving fast. But look, as secondary special ed teachers, we live in a totally different reality, don't we? The IEP is hands down the most critical legal document we have for our kids. But man, it is also a massive source of administrative strain. We're constantly doing this balancing act, juggling high-stakes compliance with, actually teaching our teens. And a lot of the time, that means you're getting pulled away from your students just to tackle an absolute mountain of paperwork. Well, in this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to navigate these new AI tools safely, effectively, and get some of your time back.
So here's what we're looking at today. First up, the IEP Paperwork Challenge. Then, your AI Copilot. After that, we'll hit Compliance and Red Lines, followed by AI Prompting in Practice, and we'll wrap up with the Pilot in Command.
All right, Section 1, the IEP Paperwork Challenge.
First off, let's just validate the incredibly heavy workload you're carrying. I mean, feeling totally buried by IEP paperwork, transition plans, and all those procedural tasks? Yeah, research absolutely confirms you are not alone, and it's a huge recipe for burnout. The reason AI is catching on so fast is because teachers are just desperate for a lifeline. Now, to be super clear, we are not introducing AI to replace your hard-earned expertise. No way. We're talking about a powerful tool to help dig you out of that administrative avalanche so you can actually get back to the human work of teaching.
Moving right along to Section 2, your AI Copilot.
Okay, let's get into the toolkit. How exactly can platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, or MagicSchool.ai actually help with your day-to-day pain points? Well, when you use it right, AI is amazing at the heavy lifting of drafting. For example, you can actually ask your AI assistant to take a super vague idea, like, say, improve reading comprehension, and ask it to turn that into a concrete, measurable annual goal. It can also give you a solid template for summarizing present levels, generate fresh ideas for progress monitoring, or draft up accommodations and modifications. Think about the hours you'd save just getting a really solid first draft, or a great list of instructional supports for differentiation. That is the real magic of having an AI copilot.
Which brings us to Section 3, Compliance and Red Lines. Now, we need to take a pretty serious pivot here, because how we use this tech totally determines our legal and ethical risk. Let's talk about Personally Identifiable Information, or PII. Under FERPA, this definition is incredibly broad. It's not just a student's name. It's literally any combination of puzzle pieces that could point back to a specific kid. Like, if you describe a 10th grader at a certain high school who needs a very specific behavioral intervention, if someone could put those pieces together and identify the student, boom, that's PII. And remember, the entire first page of any IEP is basically 100% highly protected PII.
So here's the absolute most critical takeaway. When you type or paste PII into a public AI tool, you are not getting help. You are committing a data breach. Full stop. Seriously, if you copy and paste a detailed behavior log or drop a psychoeducational eval into a free, public version of ChatGPT, you are literally releasing protected student data out into the wild. Doing that is a direct violation of both FERPA and IDA. It exposes your district to massive legal liability, it shatters trust with families, and frankly, it puts your professional license on the line. There is absolutely zero gray area here.
To make sure we're protecting that data, we've got a few non-negotiable best practices. Number one, outputs have got to be highly individualized. That is the absolute cornerstone of FAPE, a free, appropriate public education. Every service has to align with unique, data-driven student needs. If you just grab a generic, copy-pasted chatbot response, you are completely failing that test, which can easily be seen as a denial of FAPE. Number two, we have to protect meaningful parent participation like it's sacred. Parents have a legal right to be true partners in this. If you roll into an IEP meeting and hand them a draft that's already 90% baked by an AI, you're basically saying, hey, we don't really need your input. That's known as predetermination, and it is a massive procedural violation.
All right, Section 4, AI Prompting in Practice.
Okay, enough theory. Let's look at how this actually plays out. Here is what a bad prompt looks like. Write a present level section for John Smith, a 9-year-old at Washington Elementary with ADHD. Doing that causes an instant data breach because the case manager just fed PII into a public system. Plus, you risk predetermination. Now contrast that with a safe prompt. Give me a template for a present level section for a 4th grader with a reading disability. See the difference? The safe prompt is totally de-identified. It cleverly uses the AI just as an assistant to give you a solid structure. It completely avoids a data breach, and it leaves the actual individualization entirely up to you.
And finally, Section 5,
the pilot in command.
Let's bring this explainer in for a landing, all right? We really want to lock in your proper workflow here. Step 1. Use AI for those de-identified templates. Let the bot handle the repetitive routine stuff. Step 2. Revise everything with individualized student data. You've got to adapt all of those AI outputs based on the unique needs of your student. And Step 3. Apply your professional judgment for the final decisions. Remember, AI is amazing for boosting your efficiency, but the human professional, you, must always provide the final, data-driven analysis.
Which brings us to our core, foundational principle. AI is your incredibly powerful co-pilot, for sure, but you are the pilot in command. No matter how sleek or convenient a tool might seem, the legal accountability for that IEP, it is 100% human. The buck stops with you. When you sign off on an IEP, you are professionally vouching for every single word on those pages. Your experience, your empathy, and your ethical expertise are just absolutely irreplaceable.
So, now that we know how to safely use these tools to cut down on admin tasks while keeping our integrity intact, it opens up a really exciting new opportunity. Think about it. How can we use AI to actually bridge the communication gap with general education? How can we use it to create better co-planning strategies or quick, easy-to-read summaries for our colleagues? Well, you're going to find out in Module 3. See you there!